What's up, everyone? It's your homie Hermit. We're back with another reaction. This one I am very eager to check out. Uh, I can't remember which camp specifically. I think it said Dachau. Um, yeah, Dachau. This one is Can't Imagine What Mankind Would Do to Mankind, Memoirs of World War II, number 22. Big shout out to Memoirs of World War II. If you guys haven't yet, be sure to check out that channel because it's incredible. They're doing amazing things over there, recording the stories of the greatest generation doing what they did. Uh, so let's hop into this one. I'm eager to check it out, but I'm also very hesitant because some things just can't be unheard. So let's hop into it.
Now, at this particular time, we never heard the expression concentration camp or death camp. We know what it was. So we radioed back to the troops behind us and said, bring blankets, bring medical supplies, and be prepared for what you're going to see, because you won't believe what people did to people.
I love that old music.
By 1943, the United States was fully immersed in the Second World War. Military production was at an all-time high, and for many young men, like Don Greenbaum, the draft was waiting.
I wanted to enroll in the Air Force, and I hadn't graduated high school yet, and I held off. Well, I was out of high school for about 10 days, and then I was drafted at 18 years old. I was sworn into the Army and assigned to the 283rd.
Right
I
on.
learned how to carry a gun, clean my gun, dig a foxhole, and over our barracks was a motto, kill or be killed. We were shown pictures of the Germans being trained to kill us, and we were being trained at the age of 18 how to kill them. You know, when you're 18, you're so rah-rah. You just
Right.
can't wait to go over and shoot the enemy and kill the enemy until you get there.
Right.
We ended up in South Wales in England and shipped out there to Utah Beach after the invasion.
Okay.
Once we landed, we realized that training was over. We saw the guys who were wounded, ambulances, the body bags, someone's uncle, cousin, father, brother in those bags. You figure, oh my God, training's over. This is for real.
Right.
And for the next 238 days, we were in combat, going through France, Belgium, Holland, Luxembourg, up to Siegfried Line. My role was a forward observer. I'd go out with a Jeep and a driver and look for the enemy and radio back to our artillery. And I would direct the fire.
Oh, wow.
As we progressed through these other countries, we realized these people were really prisoners for a long time. And they couldn't believe the Americans were there. They came out with flowers and kisses and cognac. We were liberators, and we went from town to town. And resistance was there, but we could do maybe 10 or 15 miles in a day. So we hit the German border, and then everything stopped.
Okay.
Then it was like mile by mile. And we lost a lot of people, as you know. You know, you didn't make friends with someone after a while because you know they're here today and gone tomorrow.
Damn.
At November 9th, 1944, I was wounded. A German forward observer spotted us before we spotted them. Hit our Jeep, knocked us over, knocked us both out. Our Jeep was destroyed. My driver and myself were both wounded and sent to a field hospital.
Don spent the next few weeks recovering and was sent to Paris for R&R. But only 3 days into his leave, he was called back to join the 283rd in battle as German forces were amassing a tremendous counterattack in the Ardennes forest. In December of 1944, the Allied forces were caught off guard when Germany launched a surprise offensive, breaking their lines and leaving thousands of them surrounded. The Battle of the Bulge saw some of the bitterest combat in the Second World War, lasting 40 days and leaving over 150,000 casualties. But after a cold and grueling conflict, the Allies emerged the victors. Germany's might quickly fading, they were on the run, and the 283rd joined the chase toward Berlin.
Our next objective was Munich. We were told that on our way to Munich, we should stop and clean out a German supply depot. They said the supply depot is called Dachau, outside Dachau. We were about a mile outside Dachau when this tremendous odor hit us. About a half mile in after that, we saw the sky was black. Something was happening, we didn't know what it was. Eventually we came across where the odor came from. There were boxcar after boxcars, 15, 20 of them, filled with mangled bodies. The odor came from decaying bodies. Now, at this particular time, we never heard the expression concentration camp or death camp. We know what it was. We saw this guy behind the barbed wire, 85 pounds, walking around trying to just to live, I guess. We entered the camp, and I see that thousands and thousands of guys weighing 85, 90 pounds at the most, dressed in pajama-type uniforms. We didn't know who they were. Luckily, one of our men spoke Yiddish, and he said, "We're American soldiers. We came to liberate you. You're free." We found prisoners from France, from all over the place. They came from Poland, France, everywhere where the Germans rounded them up. So we radioed back to the troops behind us and said, bring blankets, bring medical supplies, and be prepared for what you're going to see. You know, you grow up real fast when you see that. You can't imagine what mankind would do to mankind.
Couldn't even imagine.
The discovery of the concentration camps was yet another pulled thread, contributing to the undoing of the Nazi war machine. In April of 1945, Adolf Hitler would take his own life. His officers followed suit or were captured, and on the 7th of May, Germany surrendered.
The war was over, and we started our journey home, and life went on. About 50 years after I was out of the Army, I heard on 2020 that the deniers said it never happened. It was Hollywood. The bodies were fake. The crematoriums were not crematoriums. The gas chambers did not exist. So I called Gratz College, which is a local, predominantly Jewish college. And I said, I want to speak and tell my story, because I was there. I started to speak. Small groups here, small groups there. I got a call from a fellow in Northeast Philadelphia saying there's a fellow in our congregation at our synagogue who was a survivor of Dachau, and he'd like to thank you for saving his life. So he gave me his phone number. I called him. That very day, in the rain, we met him at Tiffany Diner on the boulevard in Philadelphia. He brought his son, I brought my wife. It was a fantastic, very emotional we grabbed each other. You know, he was looking for somebody for 57 years to thank for saving his life. And Ernie and I have been speaking for the last 12 years all over the country because in 10 years there'll be no one left to tell our story. The deniers will say it never happened.
Right.
And life is going to go on. So we speak to groups, large and small, young and old, anywhere they want to hear us speak, because we want our message to be sent to the younger generation.
Wow, dude. That was a very, very powerful, important one. Um, I'm glad. I'm glad they were able to get a hold of him and hear his story. I wonder if they got a hold of the other man and heard his story as well. Um, yeah, that was some powerful stuff. Like he said, he can't imagine what mankind could do to mankind. Um, Let me know what you guys think. If there's a Memoirs of World War II that you'd like me to check out, you can drop that in the comments. But other than that, I, I have no other words. This one was really powerful. I can't imagine the things that man saw at 18 years old. Like he said, you grow up real fast after you see something like that. I, I, I have nothing else to add to it, man. You all have an amazing rest of your day. We'll catch you at the next one. Peace.